No matter how well you're preparing your swimmers in training, if they're not warming up properly in competition, they're not going to be performing optimally. Fortunately, it doesn't have to be complicated. Let's take a look at some basic principles for effective warm-ups. Hi everyone, Andrew here, helping you help your swimmers get faster. I was recently asked how to help swimmers learn how to warm up for competitions. This is an important question because you may find yourself in all sorts of different situations in competitions, and you may have individuals that have specific needs. What makes a good warm-up? What are the foundational principles? How can we keep it simple? Let's answer those questions. First off, warm-up is often thought of as a purely physiological process. That's obviously critical, however, skills matter as well. Swimmers have to get their skills warmed up and ready to go, and they need to feel confident in what they're doing. There's absolutely a warm-up effect for skills, and this has been demonstrated in several studies, and it appears that this effect is distinct from any level of physiological readiness. So a great warm-up is going to get their physiology and their skills ready to go. From a physiological perspective, there's a lot of different things you can do. It changes with the training background, it changes with their age, it changes with the time of year, and it changes based upon the individual. There's no perfect warm-up that's going to work for everyone. However, there are basic principles and a basic approach that will work for everyone. So step one is get loose. Slow, easy swimming. Whatever it takes for swimmers to feel good and to feel loose. This might take a while for some swimmers, it might not take a while for others. There isn't a specific volume swimmers need to hit, but they should feel decent afterwards. They shouldn't feel ready, but they should feel loose. Next step is to get the heart rate going a bit. Again, this is going to depend a little bit on the swimmers. Distance swimmers probably want to do a little bit more. Sprinters probably don't need to do quite as much. So we're moving from the just float around stage to the time to get ready stage. Whatever get the heart rate up means to you and your swimmers is going to be the right idea. It doesn't have to be prolonged, but they do need to get moving. They need to be ready for the next stage, and that next stage is pace work. Now the idea here is not so much to rehearse a race or hit specific paces. It's all about making sure that everything is going as planned. It's just a couple reps that serve as a test. If they can go pretty fast without a whole lot of effort, that's what we're looking for. It doesn't have to actually be pace, just anything that's pretty short and pretty intense. Again, think principles. We're trying to make sure that they're ready. If swimmers are struggling here, they need to do more warm-up. They either didn't get loose enough or they didn't get their heart rate up enough. It's okay. I've had a lot of swimmers be in this position in big meets and then warmed up some more, came back, and killed it. Sometimes it's a physiological thing, sometimes it's a skill thing, which we'll cover shortly. They just have to do some more and try again. The important thing here is to tell them it's no big deal. Once they're on track with their pace work, the last thing is just do a couple sprints to make sure that they can get up to speed. 1 to 2 short sprints, 25 meters or less, usually gets the job done. Nothing special here, just another test to ensure that they can get up to speed. With this stuff especially, I'm not necessarily timing it, you're just kind of giving it a look and asking them if they feel like they're on track. Again, if the pace work, the intense work was good, they're more or less ready. So with the sprints, it's not a big deal. Now, that was the physiological side, what about the technical? The idea here is that swimmers need to practice the skills that they're going to be using in races. They need to warm up their skills, so they need to practice those skills in some way. This could be all sorts of different things, just include them as part of the activities that are happening during their warm-up. There are no rules here beyond ensuring that they're doing the things that make them feel good. How do you know what those things are? First thing is to ask them. They probably have a good idea of what's going to help. Listen and apply this information, especially with older swimmers who have a lot more experience. With older, more advanced swimmers, another strategy is to pay attention to what they tend to respond to really well during training. So what helps them click? Use them in warm-up and constantly refine it until you get to the point where they know exactly what they need to do from a skill standpoint to be ready to go. Now, if it's a big group and they're younger swimmers, they're probably not going to know what to do. So simply include the activities that you use to improve their skills consistently in practice. Whatever seems to help the group during training sessions, include the staples in their warm-up to help them lock it in and groove their skills. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just use whatever you're confident will help them rehearse and warm up their skills. Including the skill work rather than just focusing on the physiology can make a big difference. If certain swimmers aren't clicking, you're going to have to individualize part of the warm-up process based upon what you believe the problem is and what you know tends to work for them. Now, what's the biggest mistake swimmers make after their warm-up? They lose all their heat. They walk around in their suit with nothing on their feet, and all of the benefits slowly fade away. We lose heat from our feet and our hands faster than any other part of our body. and pool decks are cold. Wearing shoes, wearing gloves, wearing a parka, or some other heavy clothing is an absolute difference maker. If swimmers aren't actively in the pool, staying warm is critical for maintaining heat, and it needs to be a priority. And if swimmers have multiple races where they're going in and out of the pool, it becomes even more important. If they notice that they're cold, it's way too late. So those are simple strategies for effective warm-ups. One of the key ideas was using the skill development strategies that help your swimmers improve the most. How do you know which strategies will help your swimmers improve the most? You have to expose them to a lot of different options. Check out the video here on the role of variability in improving swimming skills.